Aloha mai kako. My name is Louis Hokwana and I'm the Chancellor here at Maui College, and I'd like to welcome you to Maui Today, your program that tells you information about Maui College, your college. Today I'm joined on set with some illustrious guests actually. I'm so pleased, so much talent in one room, just between the two of them, not myself included, of course. We have Ann Koo, who is a humanities instructor, and we have Keola Donaghy, who's an assistant professor for music. Welcome.
Mahalo for having us.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
they're going to be talking today about the different music offerings that we have at the college. And Keola, you're going to start us off.
Sure. Well, we have quite an illustrious lineup of instructors, and being one of them, Karen Saring, Joel Katz. We offer a variety of classes in musical performance, including voice, guitar, ukulele, steel guitar, piano, classes that are more focused on the academic study of music, literature, world music, music theory, and other aspects, and then finally recording technology. We have a studio here on campus just a few doors away, and students learn how the fundamentals, the rudiments of music technology, and also how to engineer a recording. So we have a great class going on this semester where students are actually rotating roles between being musicians, being the engineers, and being producers. And though it's probably not going to be available commercially, they're actually producing a full-blown CD recording.
Wow,
we also have the Institute of Hawaiian Music program where students immerse themselves in Hawaiian language and culture, and also learn the musical elements, and we actually take them out and we form rehearsal groups, and they go out live and perform gigs at various venues around the island. So it's a really exciting time for us. We have a lot going on with music.
Great. So this is the place for the student to come, like myself, who knows how to play F, B flat, and C7.
Yes.
And then we can sing every song that we hear on the radio. We could probably pick up a few more chords if we came into this program.
You definitely pick up a few more chords. I mean, you know, simply knowing 3 or 4 chords, you can play hundreds of Hawaiian songs. There's many that have that level of, you know, musical simplicity, but then there's also some very distinct subtleties about Hawaiian music that aren't really evident when you just look at, you know, the chord structure, a lot of detail to it. But we, you know, so we have the IHM program. It's going well now. We have about 12 students actively engaged. We're actually recruiting for more students to start in the fall. We already have 6 students signed up for it, and we'll be continuing recruiting through the summer. We'd like to get up around 15 or 20 students to begin the programs strong again in the fall. What's really exciting for us is we just had established, thanks to your signature and approval, a new academic subject certificate in music studies. And what this is it's designed to fulfill 2 purposes. One, for students who may be pursuing an Associate of Arts degree, say in liberal arts or Hawaiian studies, they can pursue that AA. And if they want to have a specific focus in music, they can take classes. It's 23 credits. And if they work it out properly, they can get both the AA and our new ASC all within the 60 credits that it normally takes just to get the AA degree.
Terrific.
It was really designed as an answer to calls from students. They really wanted to take more music classes, but there really wasn't a whole lot of motivation for it. They could take 2 that would fulfill certain requirements of their degrees, and then they were purely electives. So this way, it really incentivizes students to focus on music studies with their elective courses, and they get really 2 credentials for the price of 1.
Awesome, awesome. And because you have a title, you know, it's Dr. Keola Donaghy,
Yeah.
I'll ask you the academic question. And it has to do with cognitive learning, or how does music impact cognitive learning? I think sometimes we see music as just external to what we do in academics. So how important can learning about music improve our cognitive ability?
Oh, that could take an entire program, but there have been extensive studies done of the effects on music on the mind, and in particular areas, and Anne has done some research on her own, the effects of music study on math scores. and how there is such a strong connection there between the two. So many students come in thinking, oh, I'm simply going to, learn how to play music. It's going to be a fun class, a little more relaxing. But then the music portion of it actually engages their brain in such a way that it helps them with their other fields of study. Do you want to comment
That's
on
a
that
good
bit, Ann?
segue, Ann, to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, totally. I mean, last year we had this math music research project, and we found that if you do music, you also, the same regimen and practicing to an instrument, you also need to practice your math. It's the same thing. It's effort-based. It's not so much talent-based as we think. You got to be talented. It's just effort, a lot of practice, and then
Like life, right?
Like life,
is
yeah.
effort-based.
It's practice, yeah.
We're going to get to hear from our classical guitarist that will actually prove that to us.
Yes,
Right.
absolutely.
But please
10,000
continue, I'm
hours.
sorry.
So, well, I was going to say that in addition to this ASC, I think what's important is that we have a lot of fantastic musicians that come to our island. And when we hear about them, if we know about them, that they're coming here, we ask that they come and share their stories, their music, their passion with us. And we have some slides showing who they are. Can we go into
Please
them?
take us through that.
So as far as pianists, we've had Dan Tepfer, Sam Rotman, Cheryl Cooney, Kevin Fitzgerald coming over to give concerts, and we asked them to please come to our piano classes and give master classes. Ensembles, the Canadian band, the Boom Booms, the Waikiki-based Streetlight Cadence, and then Kevin Fitzgerald and his violin partner, Martin
And why is
Beaver.
it important to bring this kind of diverse music to the campus? And
Yes, it's so important not only for them to inspire us, but also tell us their story, their path to getting where they are. It's hard work, it's dedication, it's patience, it's all those things that you need to be successful.
terrific.
Yeah, and let me just, so the last bit is different kinds of guest lectures. For example, Roger Steffens, who is the world's expert on Bob Marley. He wasn't here, but we Skyped him in. Our local musicians, Hongzhou, who plays the erhu, and Suchitra Srijantara, or I call her Toy, who plays the jin and other Chinese instruments, and Amy and Derek from the Maui, Okinawa Kenjin Kai for the sanshin and other Okinawan instruments. Raquel Kincaid, instrument maker and musician, Indian music. Bud Clark, our own Bud Clark, Professor Clark, religion and philosophy, who also plays Celtic music instruments.
I think what's important is allowing, especially our students, to see what excellence looks like.
Yes.
Sometimes we kind of get used to the mediocrity, and when you see that what people can do, and you might not even be into that kind of music, but you appreciate excellence.
Absolutely.
And you can appreciate the effort that it takes to produce that kind of music. So it allows us to showcase some of that regularly.
But it also personalizes it, because I recall growing up as, a high school aged performer, or, aspiring musician, thinking that there was something supernatural about these amazing guitar players and singers that I admired. And when you actually get to meet them, it's like, hey, these are real people. They're everyday guys who just really worked hard at what they wanted to accomplish.
Yeah.
And some of the, like for example, the 6-time winning, Grammy-winning Daniel Ho. To most people, you see him on stage, and it's an entertainment, it's a show. But when he came here, he actually gave 2 lectures. One to our music theory class on composition, because he's a composer. The other one to our world music class, our Music 107 class, about how he went to China and Taiwan and Mongolia and worked with the local musicians there and arranged music.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
so that was very inspiring. And of course, we have lots of pictures. And then music of India, all sorts, it's like a dozen different instruments. What do they sound like? If we just read our textbook, we would have no idea, right?
Terrific.
Yeah. And from the Hawaiian music side, obviously, we've had a lot of Hawaiian musicians come in the industry, everyone from Kiali'i Raichel, Willie Kay, Kainani Kahaunaele, Ken Makuakane, Aaron Salah was here just about a month ago. And it's really Searching for the word, it's touching the fact that these folks are so willing to come over, either if they're on island and willing to stop by, or even take time out of their schedules and fly over to meet with our students, do the mentoring, help provide the kind of industry connections that they would need if they actually aspire to become active in the recording or performing industry. One of our students happened to meet, we brought in Barry Flanagan from HAPA to do some mentoring. He was so impressed with one of the students when HAPA did a gig on Hawaii Island, which where the student, they invited him to the gig and had him come up on stage and perform with them. So it's really difficult to simulate that kind of experience in a classroom. You really have to get out and engage with the musicians, engage with the audience.
And I think it's clear, and this is actually a good way to bring closure to this part of the show about the opportunities for students, not only to learn on the academic side, but even on the experiential learning side.
Exactly.
So what a great opportunity, and thank you, Keola, so much for showcasing those opportunities. We're going to continue on with Anne, and actually I'm a little bit excited because in the next part, we're actually going to meet Ben Verdery, who has been coming to Maui for the last 17 years to actually teach his master guitar class, and we're going to actually get to meet him, and in the last section of the show actually get to hear him play some of his music. So
yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the work that you do here at Maui College. Appreciate it. And we'll continue with that in the next segment. We'll be right back after this break. Aloha and welcome back. I'm joined on set today with Ann Koo, who is a humanities instructor and classical guitar virtuoso, Ben Verdery. See, I said I wasn't going to get that wrong, and I just got it wrong. It's so terrible.
No, it's good. It's fine.
But Ben, welcome. And actually, Ann says she had a quick story to tell us, and she's going to tell us a story, and then we'll get to the interview with you, Ben.
When I knew I was coming to Maui, I Googled for classical guitar Maui, and I kept getting Ben Verdery's name. It's like, Ben Verdery, Yale University, what does that have to do with Maui? And not only has he been coming here like 10, 15 years ago, but every single year. And I kept missing him because he was here in the summertime when I wasn't here. It's like, and so finally one day I was here in the summer, and then Kate Ack said to me, "Are you going to the concert tonight? Ben Verdery's concert." I go, "What concert?" And it was in McKenna, so I had to go. So I saw his students perform, and I saw him perform, and it was so amazing that I had to write a review called Barefoot Guitarists in McKenna.
Yeah,
And that's how we
great.
met.
Yeah.
Awesome. We should get that stuff out of the way first, so Ben. Why don't you tell us where you'll be performing and those kinds of things, the time?
Oh, I'm playing tomorrow night with the Maui Chamber Orchestra, which
Okay.
is a great honor.
Yes.
At the Iao Theater, which is a gas
Wow,
because
fun.
I mean, for years and years and years, we all drove by there thinking, what's in there? What was in there? And they've renovated it, and apparently Frank Sinatra sang there, and yeah, it's such a cool place. So. And they're just a total wonderful to play with, and Bob Wills is the conductor, and so that's tomorrow night and then Sunday at 3 p.m. But every summer I do come here and teach a class that Anne has discovered, and it's been a labor of love. It's been a more the other way. I mean, it's just been such a wonderful part of my life, that I started really just because my wife's mother is from Honolulu, and I came to Maui first in 1985 and played here first in 85. So it's sort of been coming back ever since, but about 17 years ago or a little bit more, I thought, I'm gonna just have a class, I'm gonna have a class on Maui because that's where I want to be. And if two people come. So we started with 4 students. And now years later, it's developed into this class with I have a guest artist that comes in the last 3-4 years, and about 20 students in there from all over the world. Wow. And we give a scholarship to to Hawaiians, and One great story is the great Ian O'Sullivan. He came to the class many years ago, and then I remember my wife hearing him play and said, "This guy is really good. He's really gifted." And little by little, he worked crazy hard, and now he's graduated from Yale a few years ago and is at UH teaching and teaching wonderfully. And so, but we've had some great players, including Jeff Peterson in my early classes. Jeff was in there. Bryce Desner of this group called the National Line, but many people, again, international and local. So it's possibly the most precious thing I feel that I've done.
Right.
BenVerdryMauiClass.com. Just the pictures.
Sure.
Well, we were
This is
reluctant.
where you wanna
Reverend
be.
Alika at Cavalli Church. He is such a fantastic person, and so we've been doing the classes lately there, and then. Reverend Hara at the Jodo Mission in Lahaina has hosted us for years and years and years. So we would, for a little bit, we tried to get to Hana, but it's a long, given the class, but I have done concerts there. But I can't sort of say enough about it. We have sort of ensembles and soloists, and people really are affected by the island, obviously. And I think it affects their playing and their emotional
I love
being.
that as a lifetime resident of Maui. I'm born and raised here, about those magical places that you've discovered. Because I think they're magical too. The
Well, they are.
Mission,
I mean,
McKenna Church, EL Theater, where there was the
EL
only...
Valley. We go on hikes, obviously, but just the air, just the mountains.
St. John's.
St. John's, yes. We're in St. John's, I think the island offers me a type of, thousands, millions of people feel there's a kind of a spiritual vibe here, that we all, in our own individual way, really respond to,
So when I met Ben, I said to him, "Don't you play in Kahului?" Because you don't.
That's right. No, we didn't. That was such a great hookup, though. That's now one of my favorite. Coming here with that first concert, Ian played, and a bunch of my different. We had a Baroque guitar, and everybody. There's such a. Maui is so welcoming, in terms of its musical diverse backgrounds. All the great. I worship Keola Beamer, but who doesn't? And but you take him, and you take Willie Kay, and it's on, and many before them. It's really extraordinary the amount of talent that's here. I actually did a radio show yesterday with this 15-year-old singer-songwriter, Anthony Duke, I think is his name. Duke? I think I go. Anyway, he sang beautifully, and it was, just one example. This 15-year-old kid. I don't want to say he's quite a kid, but he is.
So back to the story of how we got connected with you at Maui College. Was that you had never been to our campus, and we had just this brand new science building, the Ikalea. So this was 2013 summer. So it's like, well, come and take a look, check out the acoustics. Right? And then the following summer, July 2014, your students performed here. And then 2015 as well. This is here, we have the poster done by Gwen Arkin and a whole program.
And such a beautiful reception.
And Ikalea Lecture Hall. And
the people that showed up at that concert that don't go to the others,
Oh, really? Different crowd.
Totally. And I think the idea that also that you were, clever to have it sort of at noon or something was really good.
We need to take music to places where people don't know it exists
oddly,
or know about.
But anyway, the idea of, taking art to the people, I think it's very important that we bring it to them and not that they always feel they have to go to a venue.
Ben, it's not too often that we got world-class kind of people here, world-class guitarists.
That's not true. You have a lot of them.
And I don't know any of them, or I've not ever got to sit next to any of them before. But how does that happen? What was the passion when you were young? Why did you pick up the guitar? How many hours you spent on the guitar? I think those are good lessons for our students to hear.
Yeah, I think music sometimes chooses you, and it. I remember hearing when I was 7. I saw her standing there by the Beatles. Actually, I heard it. My family was living in France, but it was a lightning bulb moment, where it came through my body, and I was convulsions.
How old were you?
7.
7?
Yeah, and that I really do think, and I grabbed a broomstick, because this is really rural France. This is a little town called La Coste, France. And I just started doing this, and then it didn't stop. But it's so, music has been, I think music is just a great teacher for all of us, and it's always a reflection of, your playing is often a reflection of who you are at that moment and that time. And it can always be a teacher on any level. And I think the biggest thing that we face now, which is so problematic, is people don't want to do things unless they're an expert. Or this, it's like, well, if I can't play it perfectly, then I'm not going to do it. And I think that's a mistake. I think just playing music on any level, and that's the joy of a guitar or ukulele is, you can see a little baby infant stroke the ukulele strings, and you can see the face. It's magic. They go, but so even on that level, it's beautiful, or if you're Jake, or on and on. I mean, the point is not, we're a little obsessed, maybe it's with the technology of being perfect, as if there was such a thing, So I think that...
Was it always classical guitar?
No, I'm a rock. I was a total
Hendrix,
rocker.
Of course.
Total. I grew up in rock and roll, and then I'll show that today in my playing. I mean, I grew up in rock and roll, even and transitioned into classical music, but I never left rock and roll. In fact, if you want to go on YouTube, you can see a video of me doing a remake of Hoochie Coochie Man with a young hip hop artist named Billy Dean Thomas, who the story is, be careful who you take home from Billy's my daughter's best friend, and I've known Billy since she was 8. I picked her up at what is it, middle school. So be careful what person you take home from middle school. You may end up doing records with them. So
there you go.
So it's a big variety. We also did a mashup of Bach and hip hop called Black Bach. So that's all on YouTube.
That's terrific.
I'm talking to you, Billy. She should be here.
Ben, I'm really excited that you're going to play a couple songs or compositions for us after the break. We're going to go on break, and I want to thank you so much for
thank you. Mahalo.
Coming to Maui for the 17 years, sharing that talent with all the people here in Maui, and developing talent, actually.
It's a total joy and an honor. It really is. I think giving the land, what the land and the sea, and what the ancients and the Hawaiian ancients have given us.
Thanks, Ben.
Yeah, you bet.
And
sure.
Appreciate it. We'll be right back after the break.
He nāna mai nei o ko ia muse tive, ka pūnai wele kiwi o ke kula nui o Maui.